radio is AD on the radio. What?
Today on the show, did Donald Trump just launch the TV channel everyone thought he was planning in the run-up to the election? One of the Dukes of Hazzard was arrested for groping women, and Funkhouser says he would not tell me if he won the lottery.
Yeah, you're just going to have to guess.
Why? That's an awfully nice new yacht you arrived at work in today, Funkhouser. Want to take me to lunch?
Let's go! Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
So, Funkhouser, have you seen Trump TV? It's not Trump TV. It's real news. Have you seen this?
No, have not. What is that?
Well, do you remember back in the day when the idea of a Trump presidency was just a gleam in the eye of one Donald J, when nobody was really taking it overly seriously, when everybody thought it was sort of like an opportunity for him to get the ratings of The Apprentice up? Do you remember this? There was a moment where everyone went, sure, yeah, Donald Trump's going to run for president. And it happened over the past couple of election cycles. Trump needs publicity, says he's going to run for president. Everybody goes, ha, but his name's all over the news, and the ratings for The Apprentice or whatever it is he's shilling shoot the hell through the roof because he's getting literally all the column inches and all the press and all the clicks and all of the above. But okay, so there was this idea of Trump TV, and I remember sitting around with a couple of very, very high-powered media types, people that are on first-name bases with the heads of massive news corporations and TV and broadcast companies. And we were sitting there going, do you think it's real? Do you think he really wants to be president? And these guys looked at me and they went, this is what we think. We think that Trump TV is about to be a thing. This guy loves television. He's good at television, and he's getting more TV than anybody else on the face of the planet. And he's going to ride into it with Roger Ailes to decide. Remember when Roger Ailes became his trusted advisor? It was going to be Trump TV. This was the thing. Now, I think back in October, somebody asked, like, straight up, Trump, are you considering a move to television? And do you remember Steve Bannon? You know, he was the campaign CEO of the whole situation. And all he would say is Trump is an entrepreneur, which is not, I know. You got to sort of take it for what it was. And then a lot of people went, well, Trump's Facebook page is essentially Trump TV anyway. Then, surprise, surprise, Trump won the election. And a lot of people would have surmised that Trump was just as surprised as everybody else. He went, oh, there goes a TV channel. But, but there is now sort of like that gleam in the eye of a Trump TV show back with Trump's Real News. You hear about this? Mm-hmm. Did you see it? Mm-hmm. Did you watch any of it?
Me? No.
Oh.
I thought you were talking to them. Me? No, I haven't seen it yet.
Well, it's basically okay. And I think the video has been taken down because I had a quick look before going on the air. And I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But after months and months of saying media is fake news, alternative facts. Actually, no, sorry. Kellyanne Conway presented the alternative facts. The fake news is the the fake news is the tool of the left and the lamestream media and those that would want to deny all the greatness that Trump is all about. After months of going after the media as fake news, President Trump launched a news program on his Facebook page. Now, this was his daughter-in-law, Lara Trump. And the headline read, "Watch it here for real news." She's married to Eric Trump, and she is the video's host. And she's there in front of the Trump background, the Trump-Pence background. The president met with some incredible veterans this week in Ohio, giving his thanks to them for their service to our country. Likewise, the vice president visited Walter Reed Hospital, where he sat down and he talked to so many wounded soldiers who have put their lives on the line for us. And, you know, in a way, I kind of like it. And this is the reason I like it. It's going to fail completely, or at least it's in terms of me thinking that it could be something useful. It's going to fail. But here's the thing. If you've listened to this show for any length of time, you know that we're tough to pigeonhole, or I'm tough to pigeonhole. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I refuse to label myself because I believe that when you label yourself, you negate yourself and you are pledging allegiance to someone blindly. I don't do that. I believe in people. I believe in people and intentions, not parties. And with Donald J. Trump, yes, there are many things about him that I find to be absolutely 100 million% reprehensible. But there's some things about his presidency where I've gone, oh, that's kind of cool. Before he was even elected, he was like, hey, there's going to be big border taxes for people that do their manufacturing in Mexico. Bazinga. All these factory line workers in Michigan had jobs all of a sudden. And I thought that was really cool. And there's other things about Donald Trump's presidency where I've gone like, hey, that's worth keeping an eye on. Our financial markets are surging. Well, this is a good thing. Is it the result of the man in charge? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And for that reason, I thought the Trump TV idea was great. Now I'm not so sure.
Radio 104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
Only the fake news media and Trump enemies want me to stop using social media. 110 million people. Only way for me to get the truth out! ! Donald J. Trump. His words in a tweet. And you know what? Here's the weird thing. I actually sort of agree with that. I mean, look, what is news? What is journalism? It's a middleman. It's a go-between. And so Funkhouser's friends in the adult entertainment industry are, in a lot of ways, much like the president. Stay with me on this one. Funkhouser's friends in the adult entertainment industry, if they decided they wanted to be famous for being naked and doing adult things on camera 10 years ago, this is what they would have to do. They would have to go sign their life away and try and become a contract girl working for one of the larger adult entertainment companies, who would then produce and shoot these videos and package them up and release them to the various distribution streams that this sort of thing has. Now, all it really takes is entrepreneurial, enterprising, determined person with a Twitter feed that looks good naked on camera, a webcam, and bazinga, you're making money. It's a whole different industry now. And the middleman, the corporation, that thing that has existed forever and ever, that was the go-between between content and consumer, is now not a necessary thing. Same could be said for podcasting. Look, we're on terrestrial radio stations. And terrestrial radio stations will be around forever and ever. Amen. Nobody understands why, but they are thriving in a humongous way. And it's very strange. Everyone's like, this antiquated form of media is still kicking ass and taking names. That's odd. But what the world of podcasting has done has given people with a microphone and a laptop an opportunity to have an audience that is just as big, if not bigger, than ours on FM and AM radio. And you don't need to have a middle person. You don't need to have a program director. You don't need to go into an office. You don't need to have your content shredded and filtered. You don't need to have to deal with a whole bunch of people that don't know what the hell they're doing and don't know what the hell they want to do, except for they want to go home. And can you pick up on my bitterness of this week? You don't have to deal with a bunch of booger-eating morons that just want to get the hell out of the building and go home and leave you to do all the work, he said, talking about things that are probably best left for his therapy session. But my point is, really, all you need is some sort of social media account and a phone, and you can communicate directly with your consumer. Or if you're the president, you can communicate directly with your Americans. You don't have to go through C-SPAN. You don't have to go through CNN. You don't have to go anywhere but to your Facebook page or your Twitter feed. And I 100,000,000% agree with Donald Trump saying that this is the best and most honest way to reach people. Now, what he does with that connection, what any politician chooses to do with that connection, that is up to them. The messaging is something that we're not debating here, but the ability to go ahead and speak directly to people without having to go through a news media organization that's going to edit you in a way that you don't want to be edited, without going through a news media organization that has biases, without going through a news media organization that has allegiances and loyalties to people that might not support what it is you're trying to achieve by going on their show. Look, when you come and you're interviewed by me or any other radio personality, you're in my world. And, you know, record labels will go, hey, could you please interview this artist? We're trying to promote this album. And we'll 9 times out of 10 do the interview, and it's cool. But when that artist steps into my room, he's in my world, and I'm going to use as much of his interview or her interview as I want to use, and I'm going to put it out in the form that I want to, and I'm going to put it out the time, the day, and all the things that makes more sense for me and my needs and my agenda. I'm not trying to be difficult, and I'm not trying to lessen what that artist is trying to do, but I got to make it work for me. When you are in possession of a camera and a Facebook page or a Twitter account, you don't have to deal with the middle person, he said, talking himself out of a job, being part of the news media. But Donald Trump makes an excellent point. It's a very honest and open way to communicate with people. Now, having Trump TV, I liked, because it does highlight some things about Trump's presidency that, you know, can give you something to be happy about. You might despise Trump, but there's a couple good things going on in America. And, you know, you can give him credit for it or not. But it's cool to know that there are jobs being created. It's cool to know that our financial markets are surging. I think a big part of the reason why Trump was able to win at all is because we're coming out of one of the worst recessions in the history of America. And if everybody had an extra zero at the end of their bank account balance, everybody would have been a little bit more content. Everyone would have felt a little more looked after. And Donald Trump tapped into people that felt ignored. Donald Trump tapped into people that felt passed over. Donald Trump tapped into people that felt like they were not being looked after. He pulled from every race, color, and creed and said, you're not being looked after. I'm going to look after you. And people went, God, I just want to be looked after. Bazinga, he was elected. And the financial markets improving the way that they are, hopefully there's gain and benefit in all of that for all of us. That would be fantastic, because maybe next time it's time to pull the lever of democracy. We'll do it as a country from a slightly more enlightened place, because we're not so scared. So there are things about Donald Trump's presidency that are being talked about in this Donald Trump real news, only the facts situation that are kind of cool. I'm going to tell you why it all falls apart next.
Money making, skills on the mic, keep me paid every day, and for part of the battle, just bow down, better act like you know. Come on.
For more stimulation and less irritation, 9 out of 10 doctors choose KPRC AM 950, Houston's more stimulating talk radio.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radio Land. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on. Come on.
I bet you haven't heard about all the accomplishments the president had this week because there's so much fake news out there. These are the words of Lara Trump, Donald Trump's daughter, on Trump TV. It was her on Donald Trump's Facebook page saying, watch for real news. She shows up in front of a Trump Pence background and then basically does a whole bunch of stuff that reminds us that there are good elements to Donald Trump's presidency. He donated his salary. There's a new Foxconn manufacturing plant in Wisconsin. There's been economic growth. Yeah. So all these things are cool. And look, I'm not coming out and saying, yay, Trump. I'm saying there are things to be happy about. And we've talked about this before on the show, but if you decline to be happy about good things happening because of the source, if you see any kind of economic growth under Trump as something to be angry about because the other side is doing well, then you're missing the point and you're part of the problem. We need to be united. We need to be happy when good things happen. Doesn't mean that you have to say you like Trump. Doesn't mean that you can't say you hate everything that he stands for. Doesn't mean that you can't say he's abhorrent and embarrassing. But you can say, hey, the economic growth in this country has led to some pretty good things. You don't have to even think about the fact that it happened under Trump. You can just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy what there is to enjoy. Suffer what there is to suffer. It's all part of life. And there'll be a lot less to suffer if you manage to enjoy the enjoyable things. I don't care who it is. I think a president donating a salary is a good thing. I think economic growth is a good thing. I'm not a Trump fan. You've listened long enough that you probably know that already. So this stuff is cool. But where it all falls down, and it really made me think, I suppose we're probably the closest thing to real news, right, Funkhouser? Like, look at us. You know, we're not carried by some right-wing organization. We're not carried by some left-wing organization. Mm-hmm. We never got the support that we wanted from the right-wing organization that spawned us. So we're sort of off here on our own with no allegiances or loyalties to anyone. We can do what the hell we want, say what the hell we want, be what the hell we want. And what we are seekers of truth. I guess we're probably the closest thing to real news out there. Yeah, he said, watching the light bulb go on over his head. We are the real news. I don't know why this has never occurred to me before. Maybe it's all the fart jokes that get in the way. I don't know. I do know this, though. Where it all falls down with Donald Trump's daughter-in-law doing the real news is that it's all just a little Kim Jong-y. It's all just a little too dear leader. You know, it's all just a little too Donald J. Trump, the greatest president in the history of presidents with the finest head of hair anyone has ever seen, just hit a hole in one. Everybody rejoice. 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 That's the simmering undertone of the piece. And I don't know if they're going to be doing it again, but I guarantee you, as long as Donald Trump isn't dead by the end of his presidency, because what, you know, if he makes it the full 8 years, I mean, hey, if you make it to the better part of 80, you're doing well. And so who knows if he'll ever have a chance to get Trump TV started, but he's doing his best. He is doing his best. All right, Funkhouser, what's going on in the world?
This is My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser. Barry Funkhouser. Barry Funkhouser. Barry Funkhouser.
Who? Oh.
That's it. Well, Tom Wopat from the Dukes of Hazzard was arrested in Massachusetts for felony indecent assault.
Oh, so disappointing. Tom Wopat, he's Luke Duke, right?
I don't know. I've never seen 1 minute of that thing. Except
what?
The car. I've seen the car in person, but never. I wasn't a Dukes. I wasn't on my. I was watching like I Love Lucy and, you know, Three's Company and Gilligan's Island. The Dukes didn't hit me.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how that's even possible. But anyways, Tom Wopat from the Dukes of Hazzard, he was arrested on Wednesday for allegedly groping a woman's backside. It happened in Massachusetts on the set of a production of 42nd Street that he's starring in. Tom didn't just grab her cheeks either. She told police she actually felt his fingers go in between her butt cheeks. And he also allegedly grabbed another woman around the lower waist and pulled him to her. A third woman claimed that he peeled sunburned skin off of her arm without an invitation. Although I might be with Tom on this one. I'm anti-sexual harassment, but I can't keep my hands off of peeling skin. Maybe he's got that compulsion too. Although I've never peeled anybody else's. But you know, like your skin starts to peel and everyone's like, leave it alone. Can't do it. Can't do it. Like the longest piece of me jerky I can peel off of my back, the happier I'll be. Anyways, Ew. Tom was confronted by his bosses. He denied doing anything wrong. And he also said, and I quote, F them all. But a report was filed, so Roscoe and Cletus went looking for him. That's a Dukes of Hazzard joke, or a reference that you don't get Funkhouser because you had a sad, deprived childhood. When they found him, they also found cocaine. He had a baggie in his front pocket and at least one more in his car, plus a little blue straw. So, there you go. Sad day for Luke Duke. Yeah. If he can't make bail, I think Wopat is just going to be busted out of jail after Bo and Daisy steal the jail keys from Boss Hog. He pled not guilty, though, on the grounds that he's just a good old boy, never meaning no harm.
I get that
one.
Oh,
you got that one?
Yeah.
You know the theme song?
Uh-huh.
All right, good.
Pop-up O.J. Simpson Museum is opening in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Look out. I want to go.
Yeah. No, I was having this conversation with some people the other day. I was like, would you be interested in going to an O.J. Simpson museum? Because if you would be, that's where you're different than me, but it now exists, so I guess there's enough of you. The only caveat is you got to go to Los Angeles and then you got to find it because it's a pop-up O.J. Simpson museum that's opening in Los Angeles. By the way, I think if you mention O.J. at the window, they'll slash your admission.
I see what you did there. That's very.
Thank you very much. Will you be going?
If I can find it, if it's convenient, I guess maybe. What could it be though? I'm sure someone will go and we'll see it online. That's good enough for me.
To see the white Bronco in person. Anybody know whatever happened to the white Bronco?
He had two of them.
Yeah, but I want to see the white Bronco, the police chase white Bronco. Did he endorse Broncos or something? Was that why he had them, or did he just really like them?
I don't remember. It could be. I think he just really liked them.
There you
go. Former President Obama turned 56.
Yeah. How's he going to celebrate? I guess since he's not facing re-election at a mosque in Kenya.
I'm reprinting my birth certificate.
Right, yeah. He's celebrating his birthday this week. At least that's what it says on his fake birth certificate. Fake news, alternative facts. If you didn't buy him a gift yet, you can forget about a gun. He's got too many. Remember how he took all of ours? Oh wait, that never happened.
I thought you were talking about his muscles.
Oh no, that's his wife. Very, very developed upper body.
Muscular
woman.
President Trump will start a 3-week vacation at his golf property in New Jersey.
Yeah, well, I get it. All this winning is exhausting. You know, Funkhouser, this is what I think we should do. If President Trump is taking a 3-week vacation, we should take a 3-week vacation from politics. We should goof off and have fun for the next 3 weeks and then come back. You hear it all the time. People go you know what? We're not going to talk about Trump. We're not going to talk about politics. We're just not going to do it. And then just inevitable, people wind up doing it in public, in conversation. It's just people can't stay off of it. There's I guess it's sort of like a red rag to a bull. But if you sit down at a dinner table with 3 friends and say, okay, here's the deal. We're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about Donald Trump tonight. People go, yeah, that's a good idea. I just have to say this one thing, though. And everybody has something they got to get off their freaking chest. And I think we should take a freaking vacation from it. And quite frankly, this, if you have a problem with Donald Trump, this is what he wants. He wants you talking about him. So there you go. Maybe we should take a little breaky break. What blows my mind, though, and this always troubles me whenever a president goes on vacation. I really need a freaking vacation. I really do. But I don't remember the last time I took one. An actual vacation. I took vacation days when I went to see my dad during his surgery. That was really nice to be there for that. But it wasn't beach, bottle of suntan lotion, sit there, do nothing, listen as the waves caress the shore. Can you tell I've given this some thought, Funkhouser?
It's like a dream.
I need a vacation. I honestly don't remember the last time I went on a vacation. And we're idiots on the radio. Like, what we do in the grand scheme of things, not so important. But getting a vacation day is freaking impossible. How do presidents take vacation time in any way, shape, or form? How was President Obama on vacation? How is he always playing golf? How is Donald Trump constantly playing golf? And by the way, can we just take a moment to point out the unbelievable hypocrisy? Right now, the left is going after Trump for playing all this golf. The CNN types and just people was like, oh, look at him playing golf again. Well, Obama played a ton of golf. And when Obama was playing golf, the right went after him so hard, being like, look at him not presidenting. Look at him out there on the golf course. And now Donald Trump's playing golf. They're like, it's good he's unwinding from the stress of being president. This is going to lead to things being better for all of us. Hope you get a hole in one, Mr. President. And the level of hypocrisy on both sides over the issue of presidents golfing is unfreaking believable. But they golf. George Bush would go to his ranch in Crawford, Texas. And like, how do any of you, as leaders of the free world, as president of these United States of America, how do you get the freaking time to take a vacation? We're radio goofballs, and I don't remember the last time I woke up in the morning and didn't think, oh my God, what's going on with the station? And I'm not complaining about the life I chose. I'm just having problems reconciling the amount of vacation time any president over the last 3 or 4 presidencies that I paid attention to has been able to. Why? I can't reconcile the amount of time these people spend on vacation when they're supposed to be running the world.
Could it be that someone else is running the world?
Yeah, could it be that the presidency time is sort of like a giant joke and nobody really takes it seriously? And well, no, but like, look, the president has to be available for stuff. Who knows? I don't know. I want a vacation. President Trump gets a vacation. I feel like I should be able to take one from San Diego's rock station.
You should. Just do it.
Yeah. Go on.
Police in New Jersey are looking for a man who was caught doing something inside the Emoji Movie.
Oh. Caught doing something while watching the Emoji Movie?
Uh-huh.
Really enjoying himself?
Uh-huh.
As George Costanza's mom on Seinfeld said to George when she caught him doing it, treating your body like an amusement park? Really? Inside the Emoji Movie?
Yep.
Oh. On the bright side, it was the closest thing the movie's gotten to a thumbs up. Oh, man. And I get annoyed when people won't put their phones away at the theater. I'm going to count my lucky stars every time I see somebody tweeting now. Could be worse. Go on.
A British man recently set the Guinness record for the world's largest fidget spinner.
Yeah, those fidget spinny things that we've all been borderline obsessed with. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
It was about 30 seconds. Then I
played with one for a little while. Okay, so when you were a kid, did you, like, I still have an aunt, but I had an aunt who, when I was at the age where kids get gifts every time they see an aunt, like I see my aunt now and it's great, but she's like, I got a surprise for you. Well, I had, during that phase of my life, I had this aunt of mine is a scientist, and she used to give me the coolest gifts from science gift shops, and I loved it. And that's why the fidget spinner was a disappointment to me. I'll explain why next.
More AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you my musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a body better than me. Back once again.
So yeah, I played with a fidget spinner too for the first time the other day, and I got to tell you, Funkhouser was a little disappointing. And you want to know why?
Tell me.
My scientist aunt ruined me for fidget spinners about 25 years ago. See, when I was at that age where your aunts always had a present for you whenever you saw them. Like, I see my aunt now, and she's still a scientist, but it's not like I go, hey, it's great to see you. And she goes, yeah, great to see you too. I've got a surprise for you.
Doesn't happen very often anymore?
No. But I still love seeing her. She's an amazing woman. She's a scientist. She's a marine biologist. And she would always, at museums and sciencey gift shops, get me those little science toys, like, rockets that would launch in different sections and things like that. But she got me a gyroscope once. You ever have a gyroscope?
I don't think so. What are those?
They're awesome. And they basically, I think they display a principle of centrifugal motion, I think is the term. Like, there are gyroscopes spinning in a lot of spacecraft, and what it does is it keeps them level. And a gyroscope is this thing. It's sort of like a circle. It looks not unlike a fidget spinner, and you put a piece of string in it, wrap it around, and it's sort of a wheel inside a circle on pins. And if it's not spinning, it'll just lie there and do nothing. But if you use a string to crank that thing up, and the wheel inside the middle of this structure starts spinning, well, you can put it on the tip of your finger and it's not going to fall off. Like, it balances. Like I said, it's a centrifuge, and it provides a demonstration of the balance that they need in aircraft and spacecraft to keep them from tipping over or going from one side to another. Does that make sense, Funkhouser?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
They're amazing. They're amazing, sort of cool little sciencey toys. And you can balance them on your finger like a basketball. You can put them on your arm. And they won't tip over until the gyroscope stops spinning. But I thought that a fidget spinner was going to be like that, like this thing that would never fall over. And I would played with it, and I tried to put it on the tip of my finger, and it shot across the room and hit the woman who let me play with it in the face. And I was like, "Oh, that didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out." And she was like, "Yeah, it's not a gyroscope." I was like, "You thought it was going to be one too?" She was like, "Yeah, it's a little disappointing." I'm going to get you a gyroscope for Christmas, Funkhouser.
Sounds fun.
And a set of Dukes of Hazzard DVDs that feel as though there are serious gaps to fill in in your in your childhood. I think you missed out on some cool stuff. But yeah, why don't we start? Oh yeah,
really
this British
late
man.
to the joke.
Yeah, this British man recently set the, what was it for, Funkhouser?
The Guinness record for the world's largest fidget spinner.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been obsessed with fidget spinners over the last 6 to 9 months, and it's gone to the next level. There's now a world record fidget spinner. Interestingly enough, moments later, his mom and dad set the record for world's most disappointed parents. It raises an interesting question. Is it really a record if nobody else cares about it? Like, if there's no one trying to set it besides you. Does it count? I guess it is. Made it into Guinness. Mm-hmm. Go on.
Excuse me. Nearly half of Americans in serious relationships have arguments over money, finances.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting and telling. And you know why? Because that changes. Like, when you, in your last couple of relationships, Funkhouser, did you fight with your significant other over money, bills, stuff like that?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. I handled mine. She handled hers. It's all good.
Oh, so you never really got to the combined finances phase of anything.
Can you imagine how that would end? Like, no. No way.
Well, it's interesting because, like we were talking about earlier, we are coming off of, one of the biggest recessions in American history. And so people are stressing about money. And it makes sense that folks in couples argue with their girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, significant other, whoever, about cash. And apparently relationship experts have said that this changes. Like, the number one argument that couples have in America changes depending on what's going on in the world and society. So, bearing the fact that for a lot of people, money's too tight to mention, this makes sense that nearly half of Americans in serious relationships have arguments over their finances. Especially, I hear, when the man gives too much money to charity. That's apparently a problem. When the man gives too much money to charity. Charity being the name of a dancer at the Spearmint Rhino. Go on.
Real classy. Why don't we just go to the story?
Oh, how I've missed that soundbite.
Doctors are one step closer to a lab test for chronic fatigue syndrome. What's that?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're all too tired to finish. Chronic fatigue syndrome, I think, is when you just can't get going. And look, if someone is suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome and I have lessened it, or I'm sounding like I'm not informed, I really am not trying to, I'm not trying to mock, or I'm trying not to make fun of, but the people that I've spoken to about it have said it's basically when you can't get going. You have a problem crowbarring yourself out of bed. And I was told by someone, I was told by one of my bosses once that maybe I need to go to the doctor because I could have chronic fatigue syndrome. And like, I did ask a doctor, I was like, I can't get moving. I cannot in any way, shape or form get moving. Is this chronic fatigue? And my doctor was like, how much do you sleep? I was like, 4 hours or so a night on a good night. And then about 18 hours on the weekend, make up for it. And he's like, how many hours do you work? And I was like, all the hours. And he's like, you're overworked. This is not, he was like, some people might want to dig deeper into this and try and figure out if you actually do have chronic fatigue syndrome. But what am I going to do then? Prescribe you with speed? You need to make a life change. And so, chronic fatigue might actually have nothing to do with the level that you work and the amount that you sleep and all of the above. But yeah, doctors one step closer to a lab test for chronic fatigue syndrome. Unfortunately, all too tired to finish.
I fell asleep listening to that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Just kidding. The Biebs, Justin Bieber, has been spending time with his biological father.
Who? Oh, that's great. There you go. Well, excellent. Have fun, Justin Bieber and Satan.
That's a good one there. Yeah, write that one down. Bill Cosby's lead defense lawyer has quit.
Yeah. Well, evidently, he wouldn't agree to be paid in roofies. It's great news for all you lawyers out there who have been dying to defend an unrepentant rapist. There's a job opportunity out there for you.
Leave the stimulation to the professionals.
Everyone is so smart.
KPRC, more stimulating talk radio.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is.
The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
What would you do if you hit the lottery, Funkhouser?
I would buy a boat.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Go
I
sailing.
never really regarded you as a seafaring individual.
I'm also not a lottery player, so.
Oh.
But I like.
You want to get out on the ocean?
Mm-hmm. Very Forrest Gump of me, I think.
Yeah. Would you ever want to just give money away?
Oh, charity?
Yeah.
I think you should always. So yeah. Would you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, how much? Let's say we hit the Powerball, untold millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And by the way, experts say that winning the Powerball won't bring you happiness, but you got to bear in mind these are experts who have never won the Powerball. So what the hell do they know? But I do think, yeah, I would probably continue doing what I'm doing, just less of it and more focused version of it. And then I would figure out a way to support veterans, dogs, and kids. I think those would be my big ones. I would love to be able to give animals a second chance or a third or however many chances they needed. I would love to be able to do something with fostering and adopting in a very, very big way. I think that would be cool. And like I said, veterans, animals, and kids, I think I would find a way to do that. One guy who hit the lottery for the second time in 3 months, just walked around giving money to random strangers. And we'll get into that in just a little bit. Right now, though, let's roll through what remains of the news.
Actually, I've heard if you do win the lottery, there's a large chance that you will be dead within 2 years.
What?
There's a thing that's like most people who've won the Mega Millions jackpot, they perish.
Is that because it's like old people with nothing better to do that play the lotto?
No,
because I heard like the guy who just did this, he's older than our president, so you know.
No, it's like people who like are known. Once you're famous for winning money, you're either going to get murdered or something's gonna happen. There's a bunch of internets about that.
No
the people
kidding.
who have just not randomly, but who are no longer with us that have won the lottery in the past, and a lot of them are mysteries.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to do
That
some
in a
Googling.
googly thing.
Wow. I don't know. I'd be all in favor of winning the lottery. I'd be
If I
willing to
did,
chance it.
If I won, you'd never know about it.
Really?
It'd be you probably. Well, no one would know.
Oh, thanks very much. You wouldn't tell me?
Loose lips sink my ships, so no. You'd just be like, Funkhouser, how'd you get a boat? I'd be like, I don't know. Just here's a boat. Want to go for a sail?
Would you say that you won the boat in a competition? Like, I won a boat. Pretty cool, right? Let's go.
Sure.
Interesting.
This is my
interesting.
boat.
This is
That's what I would
interesting.
say.
This is an interesting indictment upon our friendship, Funkhouser, that if you won the lottery, you wouldn't tell me.
I wouldn't tell. It's not just you. I think
Who would you tell?
Not one person.
Your mom and dad?
I think my tax guy needs to know.
Your tax guy would need to know.
That's probably it.
You wouldn't tell your parents?
Oh, I would tell my parents. Yeah, I mean they're inside this. They're not going to murder me. But I'd have to make sure my mom doesn't Facebook share it.
Right. Yeah.
I am so proud of my son. He just won the Mega Millions.
Great.
I mean, do you think you could really? Do you think you could really trust your mom not to tell like just one person? And like, because I would imagine what you're trying to do there. I think you would really have to keep your parents out of the equation. Because like, all right, does your mom have a sister or a best friend or like?
Yeah.
What family do you have? Like an aunt?
Oh, I got a lot of them. I got aunts and uncles. Oh man, the world would know.
So one would know. Like, if you told your mom, do you think that she'd really be able to keep it from just that one sister that she was really close to?
I don't know.
And then one person tells one, and then the whole family knows it. And before you know it, every single family gathering, people are lined up with their hands out, being like, "What'd you get me for Christmas, Uncle Funky?"
Yep.
So yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. I would probably
tell no one.
Tell no one. Well, you know what though? I think I could tell my family. I think they'd be okay with it. Yeah, because like I think I could keep it within my family if that happened.
I don't know. That cousin that you don't know that has a dark past finally finds out that his distant cousin in America has won the Mega Millions. I think a plot would start to come together.
Here's the advantage that I have. I grew up in a different country. So, like, I don't have that sort of, like, I mean, I love my cousins. I love them. They're the absolute best. But we're not close enough to where I think that... And also, like...
And that is why I think they would kill you.
No, I don't think they would kill me. We also come from sort of, like... we're a family that... The common... Look, we have many idiosyncrasies and problems that are not necessarily the healthiest ways to go through life that run through our family, that represent not necessarily the healthiest ways to go through life that run through our family. However, I think that I kind of come from a family that believes in hard work and plenty of it and making something of yourself and not taking handouts or charity. And also, I come from a family that I think kind of finds it vulgar to talk about money. You know what I mean? Like, you just, you know, you don't bring up money at the dinner table.
Sure. There's always one.
I suppose so. But I think, no, it's an interesting one. Wow. See, open worms everywhere.
Can open dollars everywhere.
Yeah. This is, and by the way, I'd like to point out this is two broke guys talking about all the problems they would have if they hit the
wishing
Powerball.
and hoping. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody will murder me.
This is the attitude that keeps people down in life. You know, like we're managing to talk ourselves out of winning the Powerball when we're not going to win the Powerball. We haven't won the Powerball. This is why we have no more American exceptionalism left. Jeez. How much time do we have left, Funkhouser?
Oh, we got like another 7 here. We can do news.
Another 7 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll talk about this guy and what he did with his lottery winnings in just a little bit. Right now, though, let's do a little bit more news.
Kanye West insurance companies are refusing to pay for the tour he canceled last year because he lied about being mentally unstable.
That's an interesting one.
Uh-huh.
Because he said, like, I got to bail on my concert dates. I'm having a moment. Like, I'm not able to do this. I need to take a mental health day. You're allowed to take mental health days. Did you see that thing that went viral recently? Where some employee for some company, a reasonably large company, said, I'm taking a couple of mental health days. And this is just so you know. And I'm not giving you the customary 30 days notice because this is mental health stuff and you can't plan for that. So I'm going to take a couple of mental health days. And the CEO of her company, who I guess sees these things through whatever sort of weird portal they use for all their HR needs, saw it and wrote her back and said, I am so glad that you are using your mental health days. They're there for you to use, and I hope that you come back. And I think, if you're comfortable letting people know you use a mental health day, I think this would be good for the whole company. Something to that effect. Basically, it was a pat on the back going, you need to look after yourself. The reason you have mental health days is because you have mental health needs. Take the 2 days off. Good job. And then she posted the response, and it went freaking viral because it was like, oh, thank gosh, somebody understands. Thank gosh somebody understands. And like, Funkhouser, like you and I have been through this before. Hey, I'm having some serious life stuff go on, and I've also got pneumonia, and my left leg is falling off. Like, I went through all these things like a little while ago, and I was like, okay, but you need to take a break. Can you just do this, and this before you leave? No, I can't. I need So I think it's really cool that this CEO stood up and said, hey, mental health days are there for you to use, and when you use them, we will absorb the responsibility that you leave open, and you will come back and you'll be more productive. And we hope more people use these mental health days because a mentally healthy company is going to function at a higher level. It's pure profit we're thinking about here. Like, we want to be as efficient of a machine as we can be. And when you use your mental health days, our profit margins go up. That is the thinking. And I think it's an enlightened way of thinking. However, Kanye West's insurance companies, not so much. Like, he canceled this tour last year. When somebody like Kanye West cancels a tour, that's a lot of money on the line. Every single show represents big dollars to a lot of different people. Entire organizations were out of work because of Kanye decided to take some mental health time. And now they're saying he lied about being mentally unstable. And I didn't follow the whole thing because it's Kanye and I don't really care. But I think it was, he said he needed some time off. And then he was like, time off, I'm fine. Anybody that said I'm crazy is crazy or something along those lines. And then his insurance company went, bazinga, we gotcha. You said you weren't mentally unstable. Now we don't have to write an enormous check. It's an interesting precedent that's being set right there. And maybe, just maybe, if needing a mental health day or week or tour cancellation in Kanye's case was destigmatized a little bit, and we'll probably see some fallout from this canceled Justin Bieber tour as well. Probably see some fallout from that because, there will be a whole lot of money to make up, and then there will be an insurance company that doesn't want to pay that. This could set an interesting precedent. People like Kanye and people like Justin Bieber canceling tours for the reason that they just mentally aren't up to it, if that is the case. But like I said, this actually could wind up being a very significant thing, thinking about it. What else?
The insurance companies need a mental health day. James Vanderbeek got into a Twitter war with Denny's.
James
I don't know who that is. I can't remember.
The kids show that we probably made fun of our classmates for watching.
All that?
Tom what the hell? Katie Holmes. That's what when Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes were married, that's what they were called. They were called Tomcat. Do you remember that?
And that's what came to your mind first? That's awesome.
Well, I was just trying to figure out what show he was on, and it was the one with that girl who was part of Tomcat, who is Katie Holmes. See how I work backwards and get the answer? Dawson's Creek. James Vanderbeek was on Dawson's Creek, which launched Katie Holmes, who married Tom Cruise, who then became Tomcat.
Wow.
See? I know stuff. Wait, what did James Vanderbeek do?
He got in a Twitter war with Denny's.
I would imagine it all started because he asked for Saturday off for a mental health day and they wouldn't give it to him. All right. Now how much time do we have, Funkhouser?
Well, 40 seconds.
Really?
1 minute.
Okay. A man hit the lottery for the second time in 3 months, gave the money to random strangers. The end.
Really?
No, this guy's like 77 years old. He's in Maine. He won $2 million in the lottery back in April. Then he bought 56 lottery tickets last month and won with the same 3 numbers on all of them and won again. Each ticket was worth $420, but instead of keeping the money, he handed out all the winning tickets to random strangers. Oh, so it wasn't like he gave away millions. It was like, here's $500. That's that. There you go. That was nice of him. I would probably do something similar.
I would buy a boat.
Not a boat I'd be sailing in for $420. The SS guaranteed to sink.